Welcome back. Game 3 of the Weekend Warriors Academy versus the MCOM Knights. We've just seen Game 2. It's 1-1 right now. And they're playing for the team selection in the semi-finals of the MCOM Esports Low Elo Training Grounds in an Iron to Platinum tournament. We're into the draft. I'm 6KJ. With me on one of these two sides is QWERTY. And I think we're ready. We're into this draft. What do you think needs to change after that Game 2 for the side of the Knights?
I think draft-wise, Weekend Warriors definitely have it down, and same with MCOM Knights. I don't think draft-wise there's any problem. It's just the execution, right? You have very smart picks with tools to deal with what the enemies have, but it's a matter of like identifying how and when to change the method of using said tools, right? Sometimes on paper things can work, but it doesn't actually work in game. So when that happens, you have to go through your head like, okay, what else can I do with this? How can I adapt to the situation? And multiple times they've tried to use that Realm of Death onto the engage from Weekend Warriors, and it just didn't work. And then they kept doing it for like another 2 times, and by then it's they wasted a lot of time. They fell very, very far behind, and it was just a struggle uphill that quite frankly didn't need to be a struggle. To see same champs logged in. You got the Ornn, you got the Jinx, Amumu coming out this time. So still, I think Weekend Warriors are feeling comfortable with last game as well, going with a very, very similar idea in game 3.
So, I saw this movie and I thought, this is a weird jungler, but it might actually be support, do you think, with the Rakan band as just this easy engage tool there?
Yeah, could very well be. And it could very well be a flex pick indeed. And it is a good pick. It's basically like a hook, right? You get a skill shot that leads into a massive AoE stun. You can still pick Xayah, that still has definitely the tools to play against Vianari. And we saw that with the Talia, you did land some very, very nice skill shots, but there just wasn't enough follow-up. Like the synergy just wasn't quite there for them to convert into anything. But with Viari, you do have a lot more damage as well. You have a lot more guaranteed setup. Having said that, Xayah, of course, is the pick with that Featherstorm to counter that. You do have a lot of range and lane priority in lane with the Jinx. So I'd like to see that MCOM Knights use some of that to their advantage. Gives, again, with Vi and Ahri, give Ahri the room that she needs to work with to snowball that mid lane. We saw how well Pabu did in that first game, and he's looking to, you're going to have to bring it back here and convert that lead into the bot lane, unlike the first game.
Yeah, I think they want to bring it back. Sharky, I believe, has played Vi all 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. Great game 1, bit of a issue game 2, but maybe we can see in the game 3 that Ahri is going to help out a lot, just setting up with those charms, get those plays. And the other side, it's fairly similar. So bans have come through, Milio banned yet again, Lulu banned. This time we finally don't have a Lulu in this game. It's our 3rd game, we've seen 2 of them already. Poppy banned, also a big ban, I feel. It's been very strong here for the side of the Weekend Warriors, and it also says that they think that this Amumu isn't going jungle either. Victor coming through, but we're going to see the final picks. At this point in the draft, do you think it's jungle Amumu? Do you think it's support Amumu?
I do think it's support Amumu, because Amumu is actually a very sleeper support, and he was one of the top supports like late last season as well. So it's not too out of the question that that becomes a thing this game as well. Cassante does slip through, so that's another tanky champion that can make a lot of plays as well, but can also contest the Ornn to a very, very good level. We're going to see the Janna Jinx again, giving the bot lane that room and that range to work with, to get some lane pride if they can, to have some peel for this Jinx. However, Amumu is harder to engage than the Poppy, quite frankly. So if anything, I think this comp is even more threatening against MCOM Knights, and you have the Maokai rounding out this comp as well. With the roots from across the map, Yeah, you can definitely, just run them down.
Yeah, I think overall what I'm looking at though is Casante banned both games, and this pick really strong is able to separate, get someone away from the team, maybe catch the Victor out, maybe catch a Zyra out, and will have lane pressure. So this is really the big difference. This is what you want to see come out from Big Bud. Had a good game one, not as good in game two after the laning phase, but this Casante has so much potential for an amazing game. But while we're here, don't forget you can spend your M coin that you've earned winning the last two predictions, because of course you won on this prediction, getting third wins, beating those people who don't know what they're talking about, and seeing if you can predict who the winner of this game 3 of this best of 3 will be. Who do you think is going to win, QWERTY?
I think Weekend Warriors has the momentum here. Of course, coming off last game, they are feeling it. Of course, you can see in this game as well, they're running off the same idea, so it's something that they have in, like I said, they have the momentum of that idea as well, not just the win through the series. MCOM Knights though, they need a bit of a reset. They do have Meatbun now on Casante. That's something that they can they can feel good about. They can be like, okay, this is different. We can do this instead. And yeah, they in the first game they were doing pretty good actually. Bot lane was going even. They weren't losing bot lane. And they had both solo lane leads. The problem was just being able to translate those leads into other areas of the map. That's really the only thing they need to work on. So yeah, especially in that top lane as well. Like Meatbun as a player, as a laner, I think he's done pretty decently in this game or throughout the series. So he shouldn't be he should be a player that they can definitely rely upon to make plays. If not, you can just leave the bot lane even, let the Jinx scale, and snowball the top lane. That could be a thing as well. So yeah, but coming off the last match, I do think Weekend Warriors have that easy momentum going for them into this game 3.
I want to agree for the sake of creating conflict, it creates a now, or disagree, I think, for the sake of creating conflict, creating a narrative. But I think Weekend Warriors last game, they looked much cleaner than game one. And I think their comp's just easier to play. You have these engage buttons, you have these go buttons, and you're going to outscale, you can play these team fights better. And I think it's just so hard for the side of the MCOM Knights here to execute what they want with this Casante by Arya, but then the Janna. The bot lane, it feels like it's a lot harder to play, especially when we get to late game team fights, where you're struggling to do this, you might be struggling to engage cleanly, and you have this Jinx, but she's not that safe. So I think I have to also go with Weekend Warriors Academy, but we will see as we get into this game after a short break. Welcome back to this game 3 of MCOM Knights versus Weekend Warriors Academy. It's the Iron to Platinum tournament, and they're 1-1. We're tied up in this series in this best of 3. And Carson, going on to the Rift, we have 5 people here sitting in River from the Knights, maybe seeing if they can get a pick. I'm 6KJ, here is me, he is QWERTY, and I think this game's exciting. We might see some earlier action than previous games. What do we think is going to have to happen for each side to win this game?
It's easy for Weekend Warriors, right? It's just the same story. They're running a very, very similar comp. They got the Ornn, they got the Victor, they got the Xayah, they got the tanky jungler, and they got the engaged support. So it's basically the same story, and they should be feeling really, really comfortable at this point in pulling it off. And so the side of MCOM Knights, it's just a matter of transitioning the leads early. Like throughout the entire series, they've been playing champions and they've been playing comps that rely on them to make things happen, right? The pressure is on them to essentially generate the lead, to be proactive on the map. Whereas Weekend Warriors, they can afford to just sit back, chillax, and just scale. So, yeah, I mean, I like to see more jungle mid synergy. This Arya Vi, that's what this is. Like these duo picks are. Just having that guaranteed synergy to pick things up, run around the map as a bit of a goon squad, and just make things happen for the other lanes.
Midfun looks to definitely making things happen top at level 1. Great trades here coming in.
Man. Yeah, there's that Casante that we were talking about, and yeah, that's why they didn't really want to let it through in the first 2 games, but he is here now. So hopefully, if you're an MCOM fan, that the Cassandra can make a quite considerable difference into this top lane. But then again, one can say Meatbun had a very comfortable top lane last time, and it's just his way of like team fighting, and because he wasn't able to adapt to the different ways that he can use his tools in the middle of the game when things don't work out exactly in the first time for him. So we'll see if we can do something with that this game as well.
Bot lane, late of the win, been landing decent number of these Qs in this Janna. They have the early push because of this. And I think this is really not exactly what I expected. It does make sense. You have this enchanter into this engaged support in some ways. Both junglers pathing bot though. Actually going to go over the wall here from Sharky after this, just getting that Scuttle Crab. But as a last reminder, get those predictions in. We've had a 20,000 channel point bet for one side here. So you can go over the upside. Sharky's going to flash in onto Penguin Dobo, but they're going to get collapsed upon here now. And Nova going to get here first because the blast cone is going to go over the wall. And the cyclone comes in, but it's not enough. It's the wrong way for that tornado. And it's first blood over this Maokai. Bucky keeps going in, is forced to flash away, but gets the cleanse. And just a bit greedy there from the Vi.
Yeah, that tornado tried to interrupt the bandage toss, but of course the timing was a bit off, so that didn't happen. So that was able to, the CC was able to land and secure a kill there. But you can see that they're trying to get something done. The idea was correct. They had the bot lane prior and they just needed to make something happen early. And unfortunately, it just didn't really work out for MCOM Knights. The kill does go over to Penguin on that Maokai, and that does mean he gains a little bit of jungle tempo here. So we'll see if they can do anything about that. And that's another thing about Weekend Warriors. Like, they have the lead, but once they have the lead, they can still chill out. They can still, even if they have the lead, they can still chill out, they can still scale. The pressure's not on them. They have these very beefy front lines.
Lane Penguin Domo going for this play here, and they're going to get the knockback. Fabu's going to force to go in here onto Nova, but isn't going to get the damage out in time. And it's a second kill here. A great gank from this Maokai, just playing so that there was no real flash angle either for the Ahri, who was completely out of mana. And trying to get...
Yeah, had that red buff as well to secure, so... Yeah, just to keep everyone, remind everyone that this game is the decider of this best 3 series, which does mean that whoever wins this game gets to choose who they play against further down this tournament. So if you do miss the stream, that does come with a bit of an advantage in terms of the coaching staff as well. Not only do you get to pick to play against what you think it's the worst team, you can also invest a lot more time into researching the team that you know you're guaranteed to play against. So this is definitely something that is worth gunning for in terms of taking home this tournament.
Yeah, and we can see Fabu, this Ahri's rotated down, used the time window, but no play there. Meatbun in the top lane has gone a bit behind CS, but Wave's in a great spot, and he's going to go for this play here. Does get unstoppable, but of course still in a great spot. Mid lane Ahri, even despite dying, has a decent CS lead, and there's another one in bot lane, although I think it will be evened out when this wave crashes. And around the board, it is a 1,000 gold lead already for the Weekend Warriors, just off of those early kills. That, I'm just seeing not much play. Teleport's coming in. A huge wave crashes, which means that we might see a setup for this dragon here from the Knights.
Yeah, they are spotted though, as that little ward over that wall is going to be able to see exactly what they're doing. Again, first dragon, not going to be too fussed about it. Like I said, Weekend Warriors, they can just chill out. Just the first dragon, doesn't really matter. So yeah, not the end of the world for them. Having said that, the top lane was TP used by Old Man Nova on this Ornn. Gonna try and get some tempo and some lane pressure back onto this Cassandra, who was trading on him very favorably earlier. That's gonna help him go into the topside jungle, hit some scrying orbs, and yeah, get some vision control there. So yeah, pretty calm all across the board. Again, it's up to MCOM Knights to make certain things happen. If you're the Vi, if you're the Ahri, that's good. You got the first dragon. That's a good start. That alleviates the pressure off the gold lead a little bit. Just having some of those stats, those defensive stats, to counter those slight item leads early on that the other team will have. So that can be something there. It looks like they're Weekend Warrior setting something up in that bot lane though, having both of these guys win.
Barky's here is going to come through.
Oh.
The Chompers come through and they get the knock up as well. And actually a really good use of those defensive tools. Stops the play. They were prepared for it. The wave will crash and it will be a play over, even despite the Janus shields coming through. But it could have been so much worse. He's going to trade it off. And
Bandage toss right at the edge there. I swear to God, sometimes you see those, you're like, if that was me playing the game, that would have landed.
Yeah.
So,
it's all
like pretty close. And wow, this Ornn actually with that with the Barmy Cinder starting to have some favorable trades now, dodging the knockup right there as well. So top lane is starting to be a bit more even. This Ornn's getting a bit more comfortable, which is a bit not quite what you want on the side of MCOM Knights. Yeah, I mean,
cool. Fortune is actually coming through. They're going for the solo kill. The all-out has come through though on the other side, and the lifesteal will help a bit. But of course, you get a brittle proc, it's percent health damage, so Meatbun is forced to just trade the ults to get out of there. And that's the opposite of what you want in this Cassandra matchup. You pick this a lot for the lane, and you're just losing it. Vi's up here as well, but so is the Maokai. Bot lane, I don't. Matters, but nothing will happen. But now, it's going to be priority over for this Rift Herald to the red side, to Weekend Warriors Academy. And that slows down the tempo of this Vi Ahri combo a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think MCOM, they really need to like have a lot more practice utilizing this Vi Ahri combo. It's such a strong, powerful combo. Because your skirmishing power is so strong. Ahri's, has pretty decent wave clear. She's range champion. She can, at least go even generally in lane. Like you won't really see an Ahri hard lose lane, right? In terms of on paper matchups go. So, that is something that they should be working towards, getting this Ahri ahead. He does have mid lane prior for the time being, but Vi doesn't really have too much to go for here aside from the red buff. They can look for something mid, but Nova does have his flash up, so at worst should be.
We are going to see it. Meatbun top. I think this is.
I mean, you have the support there as well, so the plan is definitely there.
Meatbun's going to keep going for these trades. Does have the Cinder now, but going to just ban them a bit. And I think mid lane's really interesting. It looked like they were looking for something, they clearly couldn't find it. But now it's a bit awkward here. Meatbun, Nova, not doing that much. Trading.
They're really wanting this mid play. They've been staying there for a long time.
But nothing's coming out of it. Watching it, top lane, we're really just trading grass procs. Meatbun, eventually Nova runs out of mana, I think. But I don't think that there's enough time here. It looks like for that pressure to actually matter. And mid lane, they're going to keep... Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a Super Mega Death Rocket trying to interrupt the tempo.
I don't know, Meatbun's found him, the all-out comes in, and Old Man Nova is just going to be able to E away, and there's just not enough range. Barely misses the Cassante Q, and you can't do as much here to follow up. You do have the flash if he really wants it, has the Q3 up, but it's not going to connect, it looks like, and it won't connect, so it's just all-out used. No ult being used by Old Man Nova, but we finally get the crash of Meatbun, but now there's the ult, but in bot lane, Barky goes Q's in, the knock-up comes through, welcome to Meatbun, but actually we're going to keep going Q, and oh my god, no one's going to die. Meatbun actually might be awkward here, seeing charge come through, but Season Desist has banned up Penguin Domo. Flash doesn't stop that ability, and neither will the W. Pabu though goes in, Barky with a great curse, the Sad Mummy on 2, completely turning this play around, and now Sharky is caught out overextended. It's been a common theme in his last few games, but Super Mega Death Rocket catches out Penguin Domo, but Dad's here going to keep chasing, keep going. Pabu low, they're all low, but they're going to get to the tower. It's jungler for jungler, and in topside somehow still no one is dead.
Yeah, these two top laners, they're living life on the edge here. As we might see a knock up coming through. It's a bit dangerous here. Both of them have a Barmy Cinder to take each other down, burn each other down. Of course, Meatbun had the TP advantage to reset the lane earlier on that he could have taken advantage of, but Old Man Nova now has that TP back up really soon as well. So that TP advantage window is gone. Dragon's still up, so that is still something that both of these teams can contest for. And we're looking at mid lane, getting mid lane prior, getting bot lane prior, getting the other team to react to the push waves. You see the Victor, look at how quick he clears that wave. It is just so hard to to generate the roam timers against the champion. We mentioned this last game when they tried to do it with Talia as well. Even with a semi-global ultimate, just the speed that Victor clears these waves just doesn't really give you enough room to work with. Having said that, they do have the position on Dragon now. They are clearing the vision, but the rest of Weekend Warriors are collapsing.
Yeah, and of course this is one of the issues, one of the costs of the Janna, is that it is a lot harder as support when you make these roams if the other team is safe to make these picks compared to like an Amumu who can always flash Q. You have to get out. No, Old Man Nova here getting a knock up, getting a trade, and it's top side. And I don't care about top side. Don't make me watch top side.
It's a wet noodle fight.
Yeah, it's fine. Bot lane, the Herald has been used here. They get a charge into the bot turret, and we're gonna get some plates here. Abe though might go in, but Penguin Domo is in the bushes. They know that he's around, and so not follow up either on the other side. And this Drake is still up. They aren't able to get the priority lanes.
They have a window now, though. They have a window now. The Victor has like about a 10-15 second window to, generate some kind of pressure or to have some kind of pick. Not anymore though, as Ari clears the wave. So he's clearing the vision mid right now. So to do anything, he's gonna have to play off the Samumu or go back mid to just lightning clear the wave again.
This is the most, like, they just keep hitting each other. But there we go, Call of Forge God. That's a resource committed, and he goes for the all-out, goes through it, and Meatbutton is going to go through. Q is Sunday, but he's so low, he's forced to flash away, and Old Man Nova able to follow it up with a great play there. This Ornn is just outplaying Meatbutton. It almost feels like just out-trading, winning these trades. And that's a solo kill in the top lane from this Ornn, and Ornn getting ahead is never what you want. In a solo lane.
Pressure was fighting in a big minion wave as well, but yeah, the root's not going to really land on anything. He's just going to keep hammering away on this dragon.
Steal. They have Lady of the Wind here. They can try to go for something. Goes to the wall, but it's too late. Doesn't go for in fact at all. And it is this Chemtech Drake stack. 2 red side, 2 Weekend Warriors. It's an ocean rift. More bushes on the map. More spots to hide. This probably favors the Knights, but they're 3,000 gold down with a comp that wants to get ahead.
Well, the thing is, it favors both teams equally, right? Because if you are a team that likes to run them down, you still want bushes, because that gives you more chances to set up the cheeses that they were trying to do last game as well. And they have some good ideas for it, so it could be dangerous for either team. Again, I think Weekend Warriors at this point in the game, just having Victor as such a safe mid laner, he still has flash up. He clears waves super fast, which means that he can rotate to objectives super fast. It's just really difficult for MCOM Knights to generate any sort of opening in the form of generating man advantage to take objectives here. They're sending the bot duo mid. So as they try and use that numbers advantage to contest this rift, which is very basic common strat that we see a lot in the higher levels of play, and it works. Looks like they do have the numbers so far.
No,
however, they looks like they want to contest this though.
Run in and 5-5. Call Forge God. They're all lined up for this play here. It finds 2 on the back line, and the Maokai coming in, but a great Monsoon stops that play. Follow-up engage from the Maokai, and all out has found them all. We're finding the whole backline. Curse the Sad Mummy turns it around again though, but Meatbun's found Barking. Nova's free hitting. Nova's keeping on going, but Nova's finally caught out by that Q3, and Nova will go down. Gets a kill in return, but it's 4 kills just for 1 for the side of the MCOM Knights as they take the fight, they take the Herald, and they should be back into this game.
Beautiful Monsoon there to give Jinx the room she needs to continue free hitting. You also got the lovely Ari flank from the back, of course, almost losing his life there, but has that flash and has laid down. He pressed all the buttons, did all the damage that he needed to get that extra advantage, the healthful advantage that his team needs to win the fight. So a beautiful positional play around the river there from the side of MCOM Knights. That's a big window for them. They have the Rift now on Jinx. We'll see how they can use it to generate any objective leads later on in the future. We've got Dragon up in 2 minutes. We've got Baron up in about 3 minutes. We'll see how they decide to use this Rift to break open the map for that. Meanwhile, he has to stay to wave clear against the Xayah. But it looks like he's actually, he just can't go back, even though he's got the Rift Hero recall, because the Xayah is just constantly wave clearing in his face. Has to be careful though. Does that land?
Baki over the wall, misses the bandage toss. Super Mega Death Rocket forces out the Feather Storm. And so they get out and make the play. And it's just even trade. But Super Mega Death Rocket, definitely a less valuable ult than the Feather Storm, I feel. Especially on these ADCs. And this is a Fed Xayah. Well, that 4v4, the 5v4, because of Parvati teleporting in, was happening in bot lane. The Xayah got that tower, got the bot tower, but actually we've got up here. All out coming in, Sharky's here. We've got this, like, Call of the Fortune comes in, but it can't get reactivated. And now Meatbun, they're going to keep going, they're going to keep making this play, and it should just be the kill going over. And it will be the kill going over to Meatbun. Making themselves get out of this bad 1v1, getting a gank finally. And in bot lane, Parvati just finds a good trade onto Nova. And actually might be in an awkward spot if Nova can keep hitting these, but they can't. This Herald.
Nice vault breaker from the Vi there, just to interrupt the Ornn recast until the Forge God. Got their numbers advantage now, so they're gonna use this Rift Herald to try and get some map control by breaking open this mid lane tier 1 turret. There are plenty of wards though from Weekend Warriors onto the bot side as the Dragon is coming up in less than a minute. So you know, they are in a very, very good position, especially when MCOM Knights is resetting like this, and you have the Xayah just clearing waves mid. And you can see right there, MCOM Knights, they realize they can't just recall because they'll lose too much. They have to deal with the push mid. So that puts them at a little bit of a tempo disadvantage. So we'll see if Weekend Warriors can take advantage of it.
But actually, I'm over here on this top side. Maybe call the Cassante out. I don't think there's much of a trade. Meatbun though, maybe looking for this. I think you get out here. Yeah, it's nothing. It's top lane is just doing top lane things. Bot lane, steal this vision setup. It has been partially reclaimed by the Knights. API directed camera. It's fine. Bot lane, gonna keep going. Not what happens here.
Yeah, Dragon is up though, so they are poising for it. Both top laners have the TP ready.
Ooh, might be a greedy. The all-out comes through, and it's found a wall, which means that the stun comes in. Call of the Fortune comes through, and it's going to get the knock up, but they don't disrupt. And so now this is when this Cassante is really scary. Jack Show got there. The all-out damage is coming through, but on the other side, an engage comes in onto Sharky onto this Vi, and they've got a chain CC. It's just chain CC to the death. But in top side, Meatbun's just keeping on going. The all-out has ended, but it might not be enough at this point. The damage comes through, and it should be enough. Forces the flash out of the Ornn, and the flash follow here from Meatbuns might be able to secure the kill. It should be able to. Q3 comes through, we get the kill again. It's the most extended solo kill in a long time, but it is a solo kill. 1-for-1 across the map, but they lose the Drake, and so this Ocean Drake, it's just 2 at this point, but the lead here on those goes to the Weekend Warriors Academy.
They trade the life of their top laner to get the Dragon there. We'll see if they can transition that into anything else. They do want to take down this mid turret, but the wave is just not quite there yet. You got Xayah and Victor, both very, very strong wave clear champions. So it's going to be very, very hard for MCOM Knights to siege against Weekend Warriors. So the Rift was used mid. The tower didn't get broken. It still stands. So both teams trying very hard to hold on to the map control here. Also, you got some vision scouting by Lady of the Wind here, trying to get some deep vision to set up for potential Baron plays or picks. Like I said, the bushes, like I said, mentioned earlier, the bushes that both of these teams can utilize can play a huge part into controlling the jungle and to make surprise attacks on the enemy team. Should they not have the vision set up. We're going to try and get some tempo, but
play here. Terry comes through. It's actually might be enough. The season desist has come in, but Saki, Buck, not enough. Actually going to go in the re-engage. Penguin Domo barely alive here. Monsoon healing coming through. Allows for that Everfrost setup onto Nova. Forces the flash on the Victor, but A flashes forwards, and now we have a reset. Barky's low. Meatbun, oh my. Meatbun's going to go in for this play yet again, but there's a tower this time. You just can't run them down onto the tower. Right?
Or can you?
And mid lane, the tier 1's down. Avi's going to keep going, got the reset, and they're looking at Baron.
Yeah, I mean they have the tools to do so. Your top lane and the bot side of the map is very, very powerful. You know, he just crashed the wave in. You have the Ornn ulti used on top of everything. You got the Xayah with Gale Force up, and with you got the Jinx with your cleanse up. So you just have a lot of safety there to do the Baron, and you know that the rest of the team just reset after that little siege that you did into that mid lane. So yeah, that's going to be a Baron for MCOM Knights. That's going to be their ticket back into the game. We're going to see how they're going to use this Baron buff to break open more of these inner turrets. Of course, that's also a great tool for Meatbun to continue using onto the side lane. We already saw right there how comfortable he is going up against that Ornn, shoving waves in against his tower. You know, just trading very, very favorably on this Cassante. And with TP available, he can continue to just generate the split push pressure to just exert, to make weakened warriors, you know, make decisions at times that they don't want to. So you got Dragon coming up in under 2 minutes. That should be plenty enough time for them to utilize Baron to set up for that. And you got the bot lane turret almost going down. Meatbun on top of that himself. Yeah.
I'm going to see this Baron. They don't have control of mid wave. Bot wave is where you want. We've sent Pabu to the top side for this 1-3-1 setup, trying to push in these side lanes. But Weekend Warriors here, trying to set up a play, might be trying to stop this Cassante and try to pull Pabu away. I think, overall, I actually think this does make a decent amount of sense. I don't think Meatbun can generate enough pressure in this wave if other people come to respond. But instead, nope, they're going to come in. They're going to go for the 5v5 in mid here because Baki is backed. But this Victor, the wave clear, even against Baron minions, is so strong. And this bot wave is just reset. There's no pressure anywhere on the map left for the Knights. This.
I just think sending Ahri top was a bit of a weird move. I think 4-1 is definitely the move there, because with Ahri gone, you lose a lot of pick potential. Not only from the charm, like from the Ahri herself, but it's mainly the follow-up damage that the Vi can guarantee with it. So if the Ahri's not there and you get ultied by the Vi, there's actually not too much damage, providing that you have those beefy front lines that can follow up to threaten you as a backliner. So sending Ahri top's a bit weird. She does have TP though to come down to assist on any fights that break out onto this dragon. But it looks like they are gonna go and you know, keep the 1v1.
Tornado comes through, but here we go. Nature's Grass comes through, catches that Ape here, and not much gonna happen. But there's the knock up, and you can't cleanse the knock up. There's no flash. Monsoon knocks them all back, but it won't be enough to save the Jinx. It's a shutdown, and the Ahri is gonna teleport in possibly a bit later. But Meatbun's here. They're running at them. So many of these ults have been used, but there's not gonna be a follow-up play. And because the Ahri teleported in, she doesn't even get that top tier 2.
That is so weird. That is so weird from MCOM Knights. You want your 1-3-1, and the last thing you want to do in a 1-3-1 is just to fight down the mid. That is completely the opposite of what you want to do. And even if you had TPs up, you want to have a plan around that, right? If you have TPs up and you're doing a 1-3-1, you should already be planning like, okay, if they engage, if a fight starts out, we are immediately TPing. Because that is the whole point of us being in the side lane. That's what allows us to be in the side lane in the first place. But, you know, we saw the fight started, and they didn't really TP in until the Jinx was already CC'd, until she was already off the map and out of the fight. So that felt really, really disconnected from the side of MCOM Knights. They do get the turrets, but they shouldn't have need to take the L on the mid there.
Definitely, and we saw, because of that fight, Weekend Rose Academy getting the 3rd Drake down to Ocean Soul Point. 1 more for Ocean Soul. This is also a less valuable soul, but it's still a soul, and souls are still worth so much. And especially if Meatbun tries to side lane, it's going to make side laning for him almost impossible with how this Cassante's damage is dealt. With this very like chip damage, you see the slowest solo kills just don't happen. They're not solo kills if you have an Ocean Soul, and that shuts down a large part of what the Knights want to be doing here. As they go on the map, Vision set up an advantage in Vision on the top side for the Knights. Bot side, Weekend Warriors Academy, and we're just standing around right now. Items coming through, 2 items for almost everyone in this game. 3 items not coming through. So we're actually fairly close in gold. It's just a 2,000 gold lead for Weekend Warriors for the Knights. And keep going, it's really evenly distributed. What do we want to see next on the Knights to keep pushing their lead, this small lead they have, and trying to make something happen?
Again, when it's gaps like this between objectives, of course, the next objective, you got a whole minute until the Baron comes up. So in that downtime, the objective downtime, you want to be using that time and your Baron buff to push side lanes, not only just for the sake of pushing side lanes, but to push side lanes so that you have space and you have room to roam down to the enemy jungle.
Cyclone comes through, catches out. Dad's here. We've gone in, but the Call for Jump's coming through. Can it be stopped? Featherstorm, but it's not enough. He gets rolled in first. But on the other side of the fight, some great plays. There's 4 people there. Super Mega Deathlocker. Jinx is free firing. We get 1 kill. She's excited, but she goes down. On the other side, though, we did find. No, we didn't. The Cassandre hasn't found the Xayah. The Cassandre's back here, though. Penguin Doro. Sharky flashes in with that Q. Turns the play around. Oh man, Nova. The stopwatch from the Vi turns it. Flips it. But Sharky, you can't go here. There's a Xayah there. And now they're going to keep turning the fight around. This Ornn damage. This Ornn keeps stacking damage. And it's just in the end a 3-3. But I think that's just a free. More flashes, though, have been used there from the red side. They might get pressure onto tier 1 turret especially. And in the end, sure, it's a free.
Yeah, but they do get they should get the mid turret, but I guess
they do because of the minions not being attacked.
Oh, there we go. The cannon minion just died on that last shot, so yeah, that was a pretty close one. So yeah, they do get the mid turret. Of course, yeah, sure. Meatbun didn't get the Xayah killed, but he did take her out of the fight, which is good enough, right? If she's not there, she can't do damage. So yeah, the main thing is that the Sharky at the end wasn't aware that the Xayah was coming back around. I don't know if the comms were there, but yeah, the Xayah was just running back around mid, and he should have known because his teammate Meatbun was the one that was just fighting him. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird pathing there, and they could have easily gotten out with a Sharky alive and potentially able to turn around on that Ornn, considering how Pabu was at full HP on their Ahri. So yeah, little bit of a misplay there from MCOM Knights. Not all is lost though. They didn't really lose a lot of map pressure there. They do start on the Baron though. Teleport is up from both of these champions down in the bot side.
Fine, it's 5k HP on this Baron coming in, but they're going to peel off of it a good Cyclone, a good Tornado there from Lady of the Wind. Dissuades it. But the risk with doing this Baron is they have all this vision set up. But in a minute, 50 seconds, Ocean Salt spawns for the side of Weekend Warriors, and they have no vision on this bot side, it feels, and they have no tempo to get it there. So we're going to train bot lane here, but the early resets do help. I just worry that by starting that Baron, they've cost themselves a significant attempt at this Soul.
Yeah, they lose a bit of vision control there onto the spot side, which, because they gave room for the Weekend Warriors to walk there since they knew they were all at Baron. They could have potentially worked on a collapse onto Meatbun there, but they decided, they decided vision was more important, which is fair enough. However, Meatbun that does mean he's going to be able to keep just shoving in that bot lane, trying to potentially set up a flank. He does have TP up. So things can happen here. Now the Jinx, of course, you wanted to keep free hitting. That's basically a win condition. You have to fight a sustained team fight. With the amount of health that the Maokai and the Ornn has, you just want to front to back. But looks like they're going to trade the Soul for the Baron. So if they get this Baron, they have to be pretty confident that they can basically own the map and seal the game before Elder spawns.
They should get it in time though. I don't think there's any way anyone can test it, and the Cassandra's going to teleport in. So it's the Baron and tier 2 bot lane tower trade for this Ocean Soul going over. But as I said earlier, Ocean Soul is such a long-term cost. Of course they're going to get outscared anyways, but it makes it so much harder, for example, Meatbun here. But we find the charm onto the Maokai, and he's just going to get caught out. It's killing spree. Pabu's Ahri has looked great all these games. And now that you have that 1 kill, now that you can get started playing, you have 3 pushing waves here because of this pre-Baron setup they did. They've traded this Ocean Soul, this long-term cost, for an incredible amount of tempo on the map right now, an incredible amount of threat. And a great Tornado as well. They should take this mid-tier 2 tower. Meatbun can rotate bottom. And this is looking like a fantastic trade at the moment after they've managed to get that pick.
Yep, yeah, like I said, if they chose the Baron, they have to make sure that they can basically seal the deal. If not seal the deal, at least take away the map. At least take away enough of the map that it makes it almost impossible for the side of Weekend Warriors to get back into this game. Which is what they're doing right now. We can see that they're very, very pushed in. They have a lot of room there to set down some vision and to deny vision at the same time. They're gonna take this reset Of course, this Ari going for a very defensive utility build. So that means, you know, you want to see more synergy now because you did go that build. You want to see more synergy working with that Vi to lock certain targets down. Looking at the Victor here, looking at the Zarya, though, that is quite a bit harder than doing, the same thing on the Victor. And you know, the vision. Again, it's so important when you have pick comps like this to set it up and have the tools for you to work with. And one thing I do want to see MCOM Knights doing more is some more bush cheeses. You know, you have like the Ocean Soul, which means you have more bushes, so you have more tools to work with in that aspect as well. But at this point, it looks like they're just gonna keep clearing waves. They're gonna keep the split going. To see how Weekend Warriors is going to respond.
Yeah, of course. It is 6,000 gold lead now to the Knights. This game is blown open. The Ocean Soul, though, and the scaling almost on the side of Weekend Warriors here. And, of course, this is the game 3 of this best of 3. The winner of this, they're choosing their side opponent into the semifinals. They're going in to the playoffs as first seed. And that's a decent advantage here. Meat Bun pushing bot lane. They've got this Baron, but this Baron only up for a short, period longer, it looks like. Yes, about to time out very soon. And so if you're not going to get this inhibitor tower, it might not be good enough. But he does get that trade. Isn't enough, though. He's just going to keep trading. And this Ocean Soul's healing over so much. Meat Bun just can't do these anymore. And he's going to get collapsed on here by the rest of the Weekend Warriors. And the Baron running out any second now means that there's just going to be no inhibitor taken, and it's looking like a lot of tempo that we had seen, but because they didn't reset, they weren't able to take true advantage of it, and suddenly that choice to give over the Ocean Soul feels like it hurts a lot more.
Yeah, old man over there on this Ornn actually saved the bot turret, not by trading with Meat Bun, but by actually tanking that Baron cannon minion there. Yeah, that bot lane tower just still stands right now. And like you said, that trade with the Ocean Soul, they had to make sure that they can end the game before Elders become a thing. They now have just over 2 minutes, and the Baron buff is gone, like you said. And yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult. You have the Ahri there into that top lane. Of course, Ahri not the best split pusher. He has the TP available though, but his team's resetting, so there's not much more that is to be done in that top lane. So yeah, I think this is going to come down to somewhat of an Elder or Baron fight.
Yeah, and both of them actually coming up only 10 seconds apart as well. Means that we might end up seeing a 1-for-1 trade. But also, I just checked then, in the picture time, I looked at how much does the Ocean Soul heal this old man, this Ornn, for every hit. 374, I believe, was the number. Every time he damages an enemy, 326, my apologies, health over 4 seconds. You just can't ever kill that in lane. You just can't get lane pressure against that. And this is the cost of giving over the Ocean Soul. They didn't win the game on the spot, and their gold lead, while big, has sort of shrunk. They haven't been able to get any kind of map pressure. And so now they've lost a lot of this future strength. They've lost this side lane strength that they had. Elder spawns in a minute. They can get vision set up first. And 4 items on this Jinx. Probably 4 items on the Zarya by then. And a lot of these builds coming in. GA here for this Vi. Ardent Sense completed for the Janna. The Wardstone also completed. That's a lot of stats for both supports coming through. And everyone's getting fed. I expect this to be our last fight in about a minute's time here.
See, they're just gonna look up to set up mid. I do think MCOM Knights is doing the correct move though, just kind of chilling out for now. They have to not play into a Weekend Warriors win condition, because their win condition is to run at you. Do not get engaged on. The #1 rule, if you're MCOM Knight, is do not get engaged on. You have the Monsoon, right? You have the Cassante to single someone out. Just do not get engaged on by the 5-man of Weekend Warriors. Play the vision, play for the picks, because those are the tools that you have and that you can take advantage of. There it is. That's what I want to see. Vision ward. You got the Janna coming out, trying to bait them into that bush. But it looks like Weekend Warriors, they're not going to take it. The smart move for them right now would to actually collapse on them as Vibe. They can't get too split up here. Nature's Grasp, looking for something.
Elder's starting up. Call of Fortune comes through. Will get stopped. It won't be able to go off. A charm disrupts it, stops it. But on the backside, they're getting engaged on this. Damage comes through. This Amumu still is ult. The Amumu finds the backline, finds the Jinx, but it's not enough. The Jinx still has damage, and Meatbun is shredding them apart. Super Mega Death Rocket, and this is a reset for Abe. And now Meatbun has found the backline. The Monsoon healing is so much, and Abe is not dead. Abe finally dies the Volcanic Rupture, and now they're turning the fight around. But Meatbun's found Nova. Nova had to flash forwards in this fight, and the charm from Pabu comes through. Penguin Domo, the only person left alive on the Weekend Warriors Academy team, and he's going to go down soon as well, I think. And nope, the Everfrost coming through. He's healing a lot here. I don't think it will turn around. They get it, but they're going to have to take the Elder. They have no waves pushing into end, but a great fight there from the side of MCOM Knights. Abe living so long, Meatbun fighting their backline, and Pabu finding that clutch charm. All just looking so well together, gets them this Elder Drake, and maybe they can start pushing again. Maybe they can start breaking the base, getting to that Nexus.
Yeah, Meatbun doing a lot of work there, just occupying that DPS, not allowing the Xayah to play the game. You know, you have the Amumu ulti, you have like the Maokai Nature's Grasp, but the follow-up is just not there because Meatbun, he's just on your damage. You just cannot, yeah, you just cannot follow up. And of course you do get the Jinx in the end, but by then it's already too late. She's already done enough free hits to kill enough people to have the fight won already. So yes, she doesn't get the Elder buff, but
she does actually. They waited for her to respawn.
Oh, they did wait for a respawn. Wow, that's actually well, never mind then. I guess they get Baron then as well. I think this is definitely MCOM Knights game to take care of right now. There's not much that Weekend Warriors can do now, because once they have the Elder, your game plan and your draft plan of running at them is nulled and voided. You cannot do that without getting deleted anymore. Jinx has LDR. So we'll see if they're gonna barrel it right down mid, as they should. And they have the Elder buff. They might turn the tables now, turn the win con onto the Weekend Warriors themselves. It is their turn for them to run at them and run at their choice of who they play against later on in the tournament. But it looks like they're just going to settle for this inhib, playing this very patiently, not risking anything.
My worry with this though, of course, is that the Elder buff is much shorter than the Baron buff. The Elder buff here is a bit over halfway done, so they still have around a minute on that though. And they're going to take this top lane inhibitor, because you just can't fight this ever as Weekend Warriors. You can't stop it. And that's 2 inhibitors down when the second wave comes in. Mid wave not going to get there, but they have a wave top. They can start trying to hit these inhibitor turrets. They can start trying to hit the Nexus turrets. Meatbun is playing forwards. AP not doing much, and they're just going to take all 3 inhibitors. They're just going to take all 3 inhibitors, but this is a bit risky. Yeah, it is. You can, of course. My worry is that you have to take these Nexus turrets. You still need to actually find a way to win this game. And the waves finally crashing. These super waves coming through. And we still have Elder. We still have Baron. And we have so much damage. They've hit that. And look at the Zap. The Zap itself does so much damage. One wave mid, another wave top, but they're not sinking the wave, and so they can't actually play off.
Yeah. I mean, you still have a lot of wave clear on the side of Weekend Warriors. You got the Victor, you got the Xayah, and they can just clear one wave at a time.
Pabu here finds the charm onto the Victor. Weasel for a bit of free man. Call the Forge God into the ult, but the Monsoon healing comes through. Elder Drake damage. Elder Drake keeps going, but the Ocean Soul healing keeps coming through, and it's not enough yet. They're gonna have to keep hitting the turret. Abe is low here. They have Elder. I don't know if they still have Elder anymore, and that's gonna make these so much harder. I don't think they don't have Elder anymore, and that makes this fight way harder. But there's only one Nexus tower left. They're all low. You have a gold lead. Abe is getting healed. Abe's life steals so much. This damage coming through keeps going. This Jinx is dealing so much damage, and there's one Nexus turret left. The Orn's down. The Maokai's down. It's just 2 left, but the All Out comes through. It catches out the Xayah with no ultimate up, and in game 3, a long game, a close game, but the MCOM Knights take this series 2-1 and are the first seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, MCOM Knights now getting the choice to getting a bit of an advantage in this tournament to choose who they play against. Of course, they let that Cassante through, and that paid off. That definitely paid off. Meatbun did a really, really good job on that, just occupying the backline, doing his job essentially. That Jinx finally had the room that champion needed to just continuously freak it. It has that LDR. We saw how much damage she was doing right at the end there. It has that stopwatch there as well for the extra survivability. So yeah, good work on MCOM Knights, just being able to scale. Weekend Warriors, they couldn't find that angle to just run them down. They couldn't find the perfect synergy. Of course, you had that Cassante to deal with. They failed to peel him from the back line. Zaya has that Featherstorm, but that doesn't really stop. We saw that interaction early on in the game as well, where the Cassante took her across the wall, like through the Featherstorm. I'm actually not quite sure how that worked. But yeah, that apparently doesn't work as well. And you can see the charts. If you look at the damage charts, some of you can't see it, but if you can see it, you can see Meat Bun just topping up the damage there, doing a lot of work. I guess forgot to ban Cassante, I guess.
Yeah, definitely with Cassante, it was looking a bit suspect early on, honestly. Losing the 1v1 versus Orb, but when we got to the team fights, which is actually the hardest part, I personally think, of when to play Cassante, hey, Meat Bun just looked amazing on this Cassante in the team fights, constantly finding ways, getting into that backline, isolating the carries, creating so much space that meant that they couldn't hit his backline, his front line, and his backline could hit the other team's front line. Just an incredible game there from Meat Bun. An incredible series at times. Game 2 a bit lacking, but honestly, that was a good series. 3 what felt like close games at most times, and both teams really good. These are your top 2 teams going into playoffs, and you saw why today. But overall, I think I'm just thinking here, if I have to give an MVP for this series, I'm saying Pabu. I think those charms were just incredible. Games 1 and 3.
Yeah, Pabu definitely. He was a bit of like that consistent mid laner in the background that you don't notice. And he had a very tough job to do, playing against Victor in 2 games and playing against Annie in the first one. Those are champions that are pretty, textbook difficult to play against. Annie's a pretty foolproof champion. It's really hard to outplay that, while at the same time it's very hard to execute on if you are playing Annie. And then you're playing against a Victor who constantly wave clears against you all the time. And even in the game they lost, we saw a couple of good Talia flicks land on some very, very crucial targets. So the follow-up wasn't there, but he did land those skill shots. He did in theory find those little opportunity windows that he can throw something in there. So yeah, Pabu definitely a bit slept on, I think, if you from the series. I think Meat Bun did pretty good in terms of his own individual performance as well. He just lacked a bit of adaptation in that second game when it came to team fighting on that Mordekaiser. But when they let that Cassante through, you can tell that that was just his comfort pick. He was really, really comfortable on that champion.
Yep. So everything's been going cleanly. Quick recap. Soon we're going to have the quarterfinals. Neither of these teams are playing. They're both into the semifinals. Other than that, I've been 6KJ. You can find me on Twitter at 6KJcast. Not spelled out, it's the number and then KJ. And do you want to shout out your socials, QWERTY?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter as well at TS_QWERTY, or you can find me on my Instagram, which is Alex_CJQ. That's where I post my non-league related stuff. But yeah, it's been a great series. It's been fun casting again, and yeah, thanks for joining me, 6KJ.
Yeah. And I guess thanks everyone for watching. Come watch in the future. Come watch these MCOM players and other orgs, of course. Weekend Warriors looking great today. It's Iron to Plat players, the future of our region. Maybe a bit of a distant future, but they're still so core. They're so important. And we'll see you next time.